As I'm driving, I'm thinking of one of the things that people ask about the differences between Latin weddings and American weddings. You know, obviously, I'm in the United States. I'm from Dominican Republic. And one of the things that I find more interesting is when it comes to food. So if you go to a Latin wedding, number one, we're always late. It's very unfortunate, but the majority of the guests usually don't go to the ceremony. They only go to the reception, and people will start arriving at around 10-ish at night. I mean, weddings tend to be later there, so we have ceremonies at 8 p.m. or stuff like that. But I was talking to my mom about this, and I was mentioning how frustrating it is, and I realized this after living for over 20 years in the Dominican Republic and then moving here, how we usually have to have two dinners when we have either a night going out or a big event like a wedding. And why is that? Because dinner is always served really late. If we're lucky, we have dinner being served at 11 p.m. And any human being would probably need food before 11 p.m. At least I know I do. So I always have to have kind of like a pre-dinner before I go out, either again for a wedding or even if we just go out to have dinner. And it comes from this, idea that's been brought generation after generation, that the second you give food to the guests and the cake, then the party is over. And it's true. I remember from my birthday parties when I was a child that the cake is pretty much the last thing you cut and give. And when people start leaving, it's like, oh my God, we need to cut the cake. So they try the cake. Versus here, it's, you know what, we have a ceremony, it's earlier, everybody goes to the ceremony, we have a cocktail hour, some hors d'oeuvres there, but most likely dinner is going to be served right away. And guess what? People are not going to leave right away. They actually are going to enjoy the party, and they will have energy because they just ate. So I really like that. I really like that idea versus making the guests starve or have two dinners. But it's culture. It is what it is. So that's one of the things. I confess that I was one of those that used to think, oh, you know, like in America it's kind of boring because people are done by, you know, midnight or 1, and we're done by 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. Well, yeah, if our party started at 11 p.m., of course it's going to end at 3 or 4 in the morning. But here we have weddings that start at 3 p.m. I just had a wedding this past Monday, and the ceremony was at 3 p.m. And it was beautiful. It was outdoors on a vineyard, and that's how it goes. We party the same amount, and we have just as much fun. But we actually have dinner here in the States at an earlier time, which corresponds more with dinner. And the party ends earlier because we start earlier, and the next day most likely will be functional human beings. So that's one of the biggest differences I feel with Latin parties, weddings, and the ones we do in the United States. Have you had any experiences with us Latinos? Let me know in the comments.